Hello, this is Patrick from XPression, and I'd like to show you a great nonlinear editing workflow tool in the XPression family. What we're going to do here is have a journalist, for example, do some work done. They need some graphics. So I'm going to open up XPression Template Builder, and what this allows a journalist to do, or a producer, is to view some templates for graphics that they know they need to prepare for their edit suite. So rather than tying up an entire control room, they can build these graphics themselves and save them off where an editor can get them. So let's start first by choosing a template. I need to do a lower third name super. So I'm going to open up that name super template, and I'm just going to put it together. I'm going to put my information in here. Just so happens I need to do a graphic about me. And I work for Ross Video. So I've got that graphic. I can see what it looks like. This is exactly how it's going to be built. Well, that's great. I've built something. I know that looks like what I want it to do. I know that what I'm seeing right now is the in and the out timeline. Well, I'm going to click Save. And when I click Save, I get a dialog box asking if I want to save this as a daily item or if I want to save to a specific folder. Well, the system will automatically create a folder for every date that you're editing or you're doing work, but I want to change it around. I'm going to click to save it to a specific folder, and I've got one for my editor called Editor Dropbox. So I'm going to call this To Me L3 Edit 1. Well, that's great. The other thing I need to do, I know that I need an exclusive banner. I'm going to click on it. It's going to tell me that I'm changing content here, so I know that. I'm going to change this to exclusive. So I've got an exclusive banner. That's great. I'm going to click Save, and I'm going to call this exclusive. And I also need to do a courtesy because this footage comes to me from Universal Studios, for example. So I'm going to type in Universal Studios, plural, and now I've got that graphic. I'm going to click Save, and I'm going to call this Universal upper right, where you are, and I'm going to click OK. So now I've built those three graphics, and you're wondering how in the world do I get them to the editor? Watch this. Okay, here we are in the edit suite. I'm ready for graphics, and I'm hoping my journalist gave them to me, and I'm asking where they put them, and they're basically saying they're on the server. What does that mean? Okay, here we're going to go. It's XPression. So I've marked my in and my out where I want that graphic to be. I'm going to go up to my effects palette, and I'm going to pull in the XPression CG plugin and put it on that spot on the timeline. Now that I've done that, I want to go ahead and I'm going to open up my effects editor. And my first choice here, because it's what I've got marked, is my XPression CG. I'm going to open up the edit tool. And what you're going to see right now is I've got some graphics in here. I'm in the edit Dropbox, and you can see something here called exclusive L3, To Me, and Universal. Well, I know right now I need the To Me L3, so I'm going to double click on that, and I can see it as an editor, so I know what it is. I'm going to click OK. Now, if I come into my timeline and I scrub it, here's what I want you to notice. I'm going to play that graphic. It's going to play in, it animates in, it sits for a certain period of time, and then it affects itself out of the. What happens if I find out that isn't exactly where I need it to be and I want to trim it on my timeline? I'm going to go grab the end of that timeline and I'm going to trim it. Say I want to drag that in further here, and you'll notice that it's now adjusted. So if I go ahead and I play that again, what I'm going to get is that graphic is still going to animate in, it's still going to sit on screen, and it will animate itself off again. It's re-rendered itself automatically for me. I have everything I need as an editor to continue on. I'm done. That was literally all it took. I didn't need anybody sitting in the control room to render something off for me. I didn't have to go looking for a file. I literally had that marked on the timeline, and I had to change it. And if they gave me something that I need to modify, which, hey, as an editor, it's not my problem, but let's say instead of being Patrick, maybe that shouldn't be Patrick, but maybe it should be Pat. I'm going to bring that effects editor open, and it's going to remember what graphic I'm currently working on. I double click it, and I can go in there if I have to, and I can make that Pat. And I click OK. My update is that quick. So I've got a great way to get this and go put all this stuff in. Let's show this to you again. I'm going to put my courtesy super in here. I'm going to mark an edit. Oh, wrong button. Click there. I'm going to mark an in time. I'm going to come over here, mark an out, confirm my edit. I'm going to put my plugin down here, and that I've done that. I'm going to go to my tools, effects editor, and I'm sure that a decent editor is going to have themselves a whole bunch of shortcuts to get through this. I'm not a decent editor. I'll be the first one to tell you that. I want that exclusive banner. So I'm going to double click on there. I see it. I love it. I'm going to put it in. Look at that. It's on my timeline. I'm ready to go. So in the matter of the time that it took me just to tell you about this, the journalist built me some graphics. I've got them on my timeline and my EDL, and I'm ready to go and ready to render out, and I'm done with my editing. Now, why is this workflow important to you? Well, first thing you've seen me do is reduce the amount of time it takes me to get a graphic into my edit suite and get it done and get that edit turned around. The second thing I could do here, and we haven't even talked about this yet, if I have my graphics built here and they're branded the same way the rest of my show is, I can actually put my graphics on my edit and I can get my package off onto the web if I want to before I even have to go into the control room. I can theoretically break a story on the web, cover it later on in my show. So I've got two huge benefits here just by putting graphics in my nonlinear editing suite without even involving a graphics operator.